our Season 5 champion, Bryce Shoemaker, is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Is up to the New England states for the final race to eliminate it down to just 8 drivers. Second race of the chase, or the playoffs, if you will. And it's New Hampshire Motor Speedway, live tonight for the Coastal Financial Truck Series presented by Racing Revolution. KLD 120 here. As we eliminate it down to 8 drivers, a look at the points before we talk about how tough this racetrack is going to be here tonight. The round of 12, that cutoff line there, just below Nick Alves, who's not here tonight. He's watching the premiere of the Formula One. There's shameless plug just now. But Grant Thorpe, Trevor Keith, Dakota Floyd, they're all here. They're on the edge of that line. Tyler Harrison also not making an appearance here tonight. So it's down to just a few drivers. Caleb Gilbert out on the racetrack has a real shot as he is only 4 points out. Looks like he's probably going to be part of that round of 8 when we go next week. But a look here at the track map. 1 mile around this flat oval, 2 to 7 degrees in the turns, 1 degrees on the front and back stretch. Some people have compared this to a bigger version of Martinsville. It's going to handle like that here tonight. The bottom strip is where you want to be. It's going to be tough to pass. We've seen it a lot here on Vspeed and on iRacing. It is a very difficult racetrack. It's difficult to get off of these corners and the braking zones. That's another aspect here. from New Hampshire is, where do you want to pull into those corners to get to the bottom? We've even seen drivers use the apron of this racetrack to get around, but with the recent tire model, that might not work out, might not be the case. I know with the art updates, the weather updates, iRacing has changed a lot. And so overall, this racetrack and the adaptability of these drivers is going to be the recipe for maybe a new winner here tonight. But I tell you what, it's no surprise who's starting on the pole here tonight. We'll get to that in just a second. 120 laps here, 45-mile-per-hour pit road speed limit. The stage at lap 40 with 75% fuel and 2 green-white checkers. 4 tire sets available. They will be at a premium. With that, though, it's time to take you trackside and get the grid up on the screen. Starting on the pole here tonight, Jeremy Burns in the number 72. He has the top spot as we get ready to start pacing around this place. Congratulations to the 72 on another pole award. We'll have Trevor Keith to his outside. 29.833. Trevor Keith about 400ths of a second off. Row number 2 belongs to Michael Reed. Dakota Floyd in the 4th position. His spot goes to Philip Brewer. Parker Johnson is going to start in the 6th position. Philip Brewer making another appearance here in Racing Revolution. Then you have Cody Anderson and Grant Thorpe 7th and 8th. 9th spot goes to Justin Ritchie in the number 6. Grant Turner starting in the 10th position in the number 7. A handful of more cars to talk about with Caleb Gilbert, Alex Forget, Berube. That final car on the racetrack here tonight with a very short field. Christopher Schaefer in the 23. He will start in 13. Pace car pulls off. Here we go. Second race of the playoffs into the Echo Park restart zone. Live in racing at New Hampshire. Side between Trevor Keith and Michael Reed. Reed down on the bottom of the 15. Sideways for the 44. Brewer almost loses it. He saves it 3 times. He falls all the way to the back of this field. How about that save there from Philip Brewer? On board with the 44. Phenomenal save, but he ends up losing a ton of ground. That settles out the battle there between 2nd to 4th position. Just behind Grant Thorpe, Grant Turner and Cody Anderson side by side off of turn 4. Anderson down to the inside. Look with Cody Anderson. As Turner gets by on the outside. We settle out in the top 10, single file, all the way back to Christopher Schaefer, who's on the move. Schaefer has gained 3 positions right next to Caleb Gilbert, who's gained 2. Alex Forget on the move for 1 spot. Justin Ritchie has fallen back 3 positions, down 8 for Philip Brewer, but he is back at the tail end of this field on board with the 44. Jeremy Burns has ran away with this lead. It's almost a full second back to Michael Reed in the 91. Trevor Keith, Parker Johnston, Dakota Floyd, the top 5. Floyd down 1. Has Grant Thorpe all over his back bumper. These flat corners, difficult to pass. All about that braking zone. How far you want to back it up and how good you can get the lift off the corner. Thorpe's going to peek to the inside here. Can't get the run off the corner though. 57 has the advantage this time. Reed trying to chase down on Jeremy Burns. There's the 23 of Christopher Schaefer. He's trying to gain another position, working on the 54 of Caleb Gilbert. It's just so tough to get a good exit there on the inside. 23 ends up having ground on the 6 of Ritchie. Good stage at lap 40. People that came out here tonight, would like to thank them. I know that this is a little bit of a limited field, but we're still seeing some great battling here. Drivers that are trying to make their way into the top 8 for tonight. With Caleb Gilbert probably going to gain that advantage. Nick Al's making that point deficit a little bit easier for him. Dive to the inside by the 6 of Ritchie. How about that? And it appears that we've had some issues here. There we go. Still in the session. Everything, I think, is refreshed back to normal. We're beta testing some of the issues that we've had, and you're watching the battle for the lead on lap 12. Michael Reed has caught back up to Jeremy Burns. First 12 are going to be led by the 72, but for how much longer will the 72 have this lead? Reed has shown that he can catch up to him. He's choosing that higher line down on that lower section of pavement through these corners. On board with Reed, all over the back bumper. Gave him a nudge into 3. He's going to get to the inside again here. They're going to be side by side off the corner. And that's close. Yeah, for only 13 trucks, this is a good show, especially for this lead. They've pulled 1.2 ahead of Trevor Keith. Reed's still trying to find a way around. Keeping the pressure on him. This is 2 weeks in a row now. 2 races in a row that Burns has had to work hard. The caution is out. Seems like Alex Forget Berube has had problems through 3 and 4. Back this up on our instant replay. Man, what a pinch there by the 23. Very aggressive down the backstretch. And secondary contact. The 19 able to keep it off the wall. Minimal damage for him. We'll watch it one more time from our aerial view. Neither one of these trucks really look like they picked up any damage from this. That's going to bring everybody down pit road. Cody Anderson is going to stay out for track position here. 16 laps on the stint for the 20. Looks like 4 tires for most of these drivers. Down and away for Dakota Floyd. 2-tire stop for the 57. He's going to gain some track position here. Justin Ritchie also on 2 tires. He's down and away. He'll come out 3rd. And it's Cody Anderson with the original tires to start this race. He's going to be on the top spot for this restart. Don't go anywhere. We have more coverage to continue here on Vspeed. You are watching the Coastal Financial Truck Series. More coverage right after this.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams. Welcome back here to our live coverage as the green flag comes back out. Cody Anderson being the command truck on older tires, taking the green flag, but already has 2 tires diving to the inside. Justin Ritchie trying to take over that top spot. He'll get around his teammate in the number 57 of Dakota Floyd. Ritchie going for the lead hard here into 3 and 4. To be helping the truck rotate down on the bottom. He'll stay at the door of the left of the 20 and dives again into 1 and 2. All the way down on the bottom. 57 also working that line as well. 57 will stay to the left-hand side. But Floyd going to try to take over the second position. With Jeremy Burns. A little bit loose there through the corner. Two tires is working so far. Higher line approach there in a late apex for Justin Ritchie, who's loose off a 2 in the 6 truck. Brings out a caution. He lost it on his own. Caution is out halfway through the stage. New Hampshire strikes again. So difficult to get off these corners. You can see a pretty big gap back there to his teammate, but he just hit the seam and sent that thing sideways. I think we need an onboard with Michael Reed. call there. That brings these drivers back around here. And while we have a moment here on Vspeed, we're going to pull a driver from TriStar Motorsports. It's Michael Reed in the number 91. Do you got a copy?
I do, yeah, Bradley.
Well, we saw you dodge one there. Got a little bit loose. 2 tires up in front of you, 4 tires. It seems like no tires is not the answer. Some of these guys that had stayed out fell back, and I don't know, Michael. It just seems like tires are going to be at a premium, especially with this update.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Dakota hangs in up here with the 2-tire stop. I'm kind of keeping an eye on that for the rest of the race. They seem to be holding up okay so far, so we'll see. But yeah, definitely that no tires was not the move.
Well, then you go back to 2 tires. It's helped these trucks rotate. It's helped some of the other cars on the service handle a little bit better. And this track's so flat, difficult to get off the corners as it is. Do you think that might be the call later on in this race?
I think it could be. I think if it comes down to a late caution, I think that'll probably definitely be the move. You'll probably see most of the guys do that. So I'm not sure. We'll see.
Well, it is definitely a difficult decision. Michael, we appreciate your time. Good luck out there, and good luck on this restart.
All right. Thank you, sir.
It's Michael Reed. Your points just close enough here. Reed could capitalize on that Ingenuity 72 here tonight. Lined back up, double file from Dakota Floyd back to Justin Ritchie, who brought out our second caution of the night. Stage at lap 40. 16 to go when they cross the stripe. Here we go. Floyd trying to avoid some tire spin. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Great restart here for the 57. He'll jump up in front of Jeremy Burns and hold it into turns 1 and 2. A dive here to the inside by Thorpe. Side by side for second place as well. Floyd holding his own on those 2 tires. Seems to be working. Grant Turner, Caleb Gilbert battle it out here for around the 6th position. This is midfield down the front stretch. Anderson came back down pit road on that second caution. And he has a 4-tire advantage on some of these drivers. So right on board with Grant Turner. Oh, truck in the wall, that's Reed. And Michael Reed's not going to bring out a caution. We had just talked to him, and he's going to park it for the night. Mistake. Into the wall. Trevor Keith not cutting him any slack at all. Watch this. He gets loose out of 4. live feeds of this race are there from Vspeed? There are one live on Vspeed. You're asking about how many driver cameras we have here tonight. The answer is 4. Dakota Floyd continues to lead. 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Gorilla Glue 57 holds on to the lead. He has 2 tires on the right side. Seems to be working. Seems to be the call. Did they show their hand too early, though? Oh, Haynes. See you in the chat. If you have any questions, let me know. Burns putting the pressure on Floyd into turns 1 and 2. A little bit higher approach here from the 57. Handling issue there. Looked like the 91 got a little bit loose on his own. No contact between him and anybody else. Unfortunately for Reed, though, he parked that truck. He had a stage in about 10 laps. Probably could have got it repaired. I don't know. Maybe just fed up with the way this thing is handling here tonight. It is a tough racetrack as we see a battle for the lead. 2 tires is holding up pretty well. It might be the call late in this race. We had talked to Reed just prior to this, Ruth Ann, and he had mentioned that he was curious how the 57 would hold up. And Dakota Floyd is putting up a fight here. He doesn't lead that time by. Burns does get the lead back. How's he going to drive into 1 and 2? Way up the racetrack on a half seam. He's going to get a good run out of 2 here. He's sideways. Back to the outside of the Ingenuity 72. He's not going to give up without a fight. Stage 6 laps to go here. So we go back on offense. I think he can do it. He can get back around this 72 truck. Follow his line for a couple laps here. Figure out what he's doing. And maybe, just maybe, Dakota Floyd can get to the inside. He will here. Burns gets loose off of 2. The longer these 2 hold on to each other, though, Trevor Keith is starting to creep into the picture. There's a look on board with the 15. Battle still going on. 0.2 of a second. Good exit there for Burns. Riding on board with Keith. We have the telemetry on the bottom left corner of your screen. Keith last time by 1/10 faster than both of these drivers. Doesn't look like he got a good exit out of 4. Doesn't look too happy with it. 150 miles per hour down to around 98 miles per hour. Jump back up front, looking at this lead battle. It looks like Dakota Floyd has lost some ground. Pretty fond of him. Oh, he's a good dude. Floyd, Keith, Thorpe, and Johnston, the top 5. Anderson has 4 tires that are a little bit fresher than everybody else's. Anderson can creep up into this top 5. He's got his sights set for the white flag on Parker Johnston. as we come around turn 4. Jeremy Burns is going to take that white flag one more time around here for stage number 1. It looks like Burns might just have it wrapped up. He's had a phenomenal season here in the Truck Series. And again, we are eliminating it down to 8 drivers after tonight. And Jeremy Burns off of turn 4. He's going to get it. 72, Silverado of Jeremy Burns, stage winner. Burns locks up another one here. Wrapping back around this racetrack to catch up to that iRacing pace car. Blink out there from Burns. But now down pit road. This time by everybody going to pour in. Lloyd on 2 tires has impressed me. The 6 of Richie came back in, even on 2 tires, just topping off with fuel. Worked his way back up to the 8th spot. Top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen. Only 13 trucks out here tonight. Alex Forget Berube, who brought out the first caution with Christopher Schaefer. And some contact between those two. Works his way back up to 10th as we hit pit road. Jeremy Burns going to take 4 tires guaranteed. Down and away for the 72. 3-wide battle for the 2nd position. Trevor Keith is going to win that battle. He had 4/10 advantage here on his pit stop. Well, I hate to do this to you, but I am going to send it to a commercial break. You are watching the Coastal Financial Truck Series and the KDL Truck Repair 120 from New Hampshire. More coverage on Vspeed right after this. Welcome back to our coverage here from Loudon. Stage number 2 about to be underway with Jeremy Burns, your stage winner. Trevor Keith on the outside into turn 1. We're back underway. Last race of the round of 12. So go into turn 1. Alex Forget around again. Grant Turner into the wall. And caution is out just that fast. What happened here to the 7 truck? We'll dial this back on our Vspeed instant replay. This happens right at the restart, so we'll dial it back to turn 4 where we hit that loud pedal. of a check up there from the 6, but not sure what happened here. 54 got out of sorts. Sent the 7 sideways. It's enough to bring out a caution. Again, we're just trying not to run into the back of Parker Johnston there. Stage 1 complete. Now at this point, it is a race to the finish. A little bit of contact there between the 54 and the 7. Sends him sideways. And Reed back out on the racetrack here. Again, I was a little bit surprised to see him tow. Figured he would come back around this racetrack. I don't think he's going to get enough cautions to get back on the lead lap. He is 8 laps down now. Double back up this time by. Burns going to be on the inside for this restart. Command truck for the 72. He's been the commanding truck all season long. 7 wins. This goes back to the beginning of this season. He has not let up a single bit. He will be on the top spot. Take a look on board with Jeremy Burns as we hit this green flag. Waiting for that iRacing pace car to get out of the way. More cautions for lead changes here tonight with Burns winning stage 1. Green flag's gonna wave right here. Here we go. Into turn 1 with the 72. 15 on the outside. All over each other through 3 and 4, almost 3 wide. Dakota Floyd keeps his nose out there. Trevor Keith cuts him off a little bit here. Shuts that door on the exit of 4. Grant Thorpe down to the bottom. We're going to peak 3 wide again at New Hampshire. Jeremy Burns continues to hold on to that lead, and he can pull away very easily here with that clean air, allowing him to run his own line. And it seems like Grant Turner's electricity has went out. More problems there. Seven truck disappears from the field. Turner, if you have a chance to get back into this session, let me know. I'll pull you into the broadcast booth if you're going to try to get back into the race. Just let me know. I'll pull you into the broadcast booth. Best place to chat that out would be in that Vspeed chat on the live stream. Johnson up to 4th. This is the highest position he's been in all night long. This racetrack, similar to a short track, is the way you approach these corners. If you're good at short tracks, you're probably going to get around New Hampshire pretty well. See Johnson being very, very patient with Trevor Keith right now, all over the back bumper of him. Stab at the throttle here for the 48, probably going to have the advantage eventually. Move back to the right-hand side. The counter steer there from Trevor Keith, riding in 3rd right now. The advantage now. Gonna allow Thorpe to the inside. Nelson has to choose the high line. This could be good for Keith. He can pull away while that 77 to 48 battle each other side by side. It's going to interfere with both their lines. He hasn't done it yet. There's a little bit of a pull into 1 and 2. Rob will complete that pass and look at the top 3. Lloyd has fallen back half a second from your leader, Jeremy Burns. You got to wonder if that 57 truck may be a little bit better on 2 tires. Does he want to take that gamble? We stay green and try that. Seemed to have worked in the first stage. By the end of this fuel run, we're going to be somewhere around 50 to 60 laps. Sides will probably be a little bit chewed up. Floyd, the track position, so important here at New Hampshire, and that's why he elected to take those 2 tires during that stage. Worked out for him on the gain initially. Grant Thorpe looks to the outside. Got plenty of racing left to be done. Cody Anderson, Caleb Gilbert, side by side. Here comes Philip Brewer, the truck that got loose at the start of this race. With a phenomenal save. Brewer moving back through this field, looking at the top 5. He's up to 7th now as he passes Gilbert. Also getting around the 54. Here comes Christopher Schaefer on the inside. Schaefer's going to lose it into the inside wall. We're going to stay green halfway through this event. To go back and find out exactly. I know that it was A little bit of problems on the throttle. Back this up one more time on the onboard. Watch the wheel. All the way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Skipper's still struggling with the handling of that truck. Burns, Floyd, Keith, Thorpe, and Johnston, the top 5. Back with Brewer and Anderson side by side through 1 and 2. Now Anderson under fire from Alex Forget. Quick pass there through 3 and 4. Alex Forget into 7th position. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I saw what I saw. Do it one more time, Cody. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Scrape on the wall. I think some bush apple might be. There it is. I think Cody might be paying attention to the broadcast a little too much here. Sideways there off of 4. He holds on to it, but now has Caleb Gilbert to the inside. This is for the 8th position. Gilbert's going to go by. Justin Ritchie on the back bumper. There's Michael Reed, who came back out on the racetrack. He is 9 laps down now. On board with the 91. Continuing to lead here for Jeremy Burns, and it's at 0.8 of a second over Dakota Floyd. 72, a little bit faster. Clean air definitely helping him around. Trevor Keith in 3rd, Grant Thorpe in 4th, Parker Johnston, the top 5 with Philip Brewer all over the back bumper. Look to the inside for the top 5 now. Using that apron to help the truck rotate. He'll slide job in front of the 48. Here comes a crossover. Is it going to be enough? No, it will not. It will not work this time. We'll dive into the inside of 1 and 2. Brewer giving him plenty of room. Johnson now opens up the door with that slide and that move on the crossover for Alex Forget on the high line. And Alex Forget will try to move up to the 6th position. Will he complete this pass off of 4? He will. There you have it. For your top 5, now with Brewer in the 44. Parker Johnson falls back to 7th. We're going to take another quick commercial break here. You are watching the Coastal Financial Truck Series, where coverage continues. Presented by Racing Revolution. KDL, right after this.
5 champion Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
With Jonathan Parker, he locks it up in the end of stage 1. Jonathan Parker, our season 5 champion Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams. Welcome back to our live coverage as we begin green flag pit stops. The 44, Philip Brewer has brought it down pit road. He'll be the first of the drivers on this lead lap. Michael Reed, 8-9 laps down, trying to chase down on Philip Brewer. With those fresh tires, it looks like the 44 is probably going to end up in this top 3. Jeremy Burns still out on the racetrack. Now ticker on the left-hand side of your screen with Dakota Floyd, Trevor Keith, the top 3. They continue to stay out, but we're 35 laps on this stint. And the undercut on pit road. Burns going to continue to stay out here. Telemetry there on the left-hand side of your screen. We have the onboards and driver cameras working on these overlays. And I'd like to thank Adam Baker one more time for how good they look. If you enjoy what you're seeing here, go ahead and voice it in the chat. If you're liking these new overlays, if you really like what you see on this broadcast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm sure we'll have another season here for the Truck Series and all of Racing Revolution. You can catch all of our coverage, flag to flag, every single season here on Vspeed. Down pit road for the 57 of Dakota Floyd now. This will force the hand of Burns, Keith, Thorpe, the top 4, before Floyd came down pit road. A really good entry there. Floyd doing a fantastic job of getting that car down pit road, that truck rather. Left sides are going to go up. No, 2 tires. He's going to make the call. I wondered about it. What does that do for Burns? Does Burns take 4? We're talking about an additional 4 to 5 seconds on pit road. Burns will take 4. Left sides go up now. Down and away. Burns, Thorpe on 2 tires. Johnson 4. This race stays green. I don't know. Floyd has about 2 seconds over the 72. Haven't seen anybody else come down pit road just yet. There's Brewer, who undercut all of this. Oh, this is interesting. Trevor Keith continues to stay out in the number 15. Leading some laps here. He's going to come down pit road this time by. Alex Forget still out on the racetrack. Cody Anderson also peeling down pit road. And here comes Alex Forget. That will cycle the lead back to Dakota Floyd, just ahead of Justin Ritchie. Ritchie on the shortcut strategy as well in the number 6. There's the 72 of Burns just behind the 44 of Philip Brewer. Able to slide into this corner a little bit deeper than the 44 now. The 7-lap advantage on tires. Sees the lead in front of him. He'll go side by side with the 44, who's going to put up a little bit of a fight here off the exit of 2. Now sets his sights on the 6 of Justin Ritchie. Caleb Gilbert still out on the racetrack. He will lead some laps. The 54 hits pit road. Here come the leaders. .30 to go, side by side for second. Not much of a fight there from Ritchie. Just 2 tires to call. I don't know. Based off of how much ground Jeremy Burns is gaining on Dakota Floyd, I don't think so. So you had to try something here. The 72 has just been bad fast. Look at how he's entering this corner. Strap at the bottom. It's just so much longer on the brakes, but he's able to drive off so much better than Floyd. And I don't know if it's 2 tires creating the situation. Floyd's going to start trying to aero block, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. We're probably going to see the 72 dive to the inside within the next lap or 2, maybe here into 3 and 4. There he goes, to the bottom. Defense played. Boyd looking back off the rear bumper. Pressure is on from Jeremy Burns. He got there. Floyd's going to make him work for it. There's the side-by-side and the pass for the lead with over 20 laps to go. Drag race down the front stretch. That time by 5/1000ths of a second. Burns did lead. He'll pinch him up a little bit along that outside wall. 72 completes the pass on lap 93. Through your top 5 with Burns. There's Floyd on 2 tires. Grant Thorpe about 1.8 seconds back. Philip Brewer back to the top 5. Excellent drive here for him. And Justin Ritchie on 2 tires as well on that last stop. Didn't seem to be the call with those older left sides. But it does help with the track position. Trevor Keith in the background getting very loose off of turn 4. He's running in the 6th position. Alex Forget, Berube, Parker Johnson, Christopher Schaefer, an early exit to this race. He's off the racetrack. There's Johnson right there. Caleb Gilbert running in 9th. Cody Anderson in the 10th position by himself. And then there's Michael Reed still out on the racetrack. And it looks like with how many laps we have left to go, Michael Reed could gain, well, he has. He's already got ahead of Christopher Schaefer and Grant Turner. If a caution were to fly for a truck getting involved in something right now, he'd gain one more spot and get a top 10 on this shortened field. More with Brewer. Burns just holding on to it with 1.2 seconds, continuing to lengthen out that lead over Dakota Floyd. Thorpe in 3rd. Gotta say that this top 3 has spread out quite a ways. I don't think we're gonna see a battle before the end of this one. Last time by, almost identical lap times, only 100th of a second faster here. 300ths of a second, rather, for Thorpe. That doesn't seem to be enough on that interval. A lot of ground to make up for Grant Thorpe to get to the back of this 57 truck. He's actually going to lengthen that out. He made a mistake there off the exit of turn 2. There's a side-by-side battle for 6th position as Alex Forget moves the 44 back 1 spot. Still predict Philip Brewer to end up in the top 5 here if they get around Justin Ritchie. Forget will look to the inside. Another position gain from the 19. Brewer, the next one in line, to try to get around the 6. There's the length of the lead. There's the gap back to third and fourth position. Alex Forget has caught up to Trevor Keith. Looking off the back end of the 15. Trying to hold on. Keith is within arm's reach of Grant Thorpe. Thorpe making some mistakes later in this run. 21 laps on the tires. Keith 17 laps on the tires. 15 can find his way back to a podium finish. Alex Forget going to try to take that away from him. Move to the bottom in 1 and 2. Not going to work that time around. Alex Forget 1 lap pressure tires. We've got tire strategies all over the place here. The 2 tires, 20 plus laps on them. 17 for Forget. He actually has the freshest tires on the racetrack right now, with the exception of Caleb Gilbert. Parker Johnston in between. Actually, I take that back. It's Trevor Keith. I don't know where I was, but Trevor Keith looking to the inside of Grant Thorpe now for the 3rd position. He's not going to get it into the wall though. They're going to stay side by side. Where does Alex Forget go? Dive to the inside. Keith keeps it down on the bottom. Way up the racetrack here for Thorpe. Wow, and some contact there. That's going to send the 15 of Keith up the racetrack a little bit. Alex Forget trying to complete that pass on the inside now. Keith having the outside. He's going to give it to him. And it's been a minute since we've talked to the 19. Contact with a little bit of a tail slap there. These are the closest battles on the racetrack right now. As Burns is pulled away. We're watching the 19, the 77, the 15. This is for the 4th position now with Thorpe on the outside. Keith has been trying to get around this 77 truck for about 5 laps now. And I think he's having a little bit of fun doing it. Look at the onboard. Check back in there with Michael Reed. He's still 9 laps down. Still out on the racetrack. Philip Brewer has taken an early exit to this event. He is now 3 laps down. There's plenty of time here for Reed to get a top 10 now with the early exit of Philip Brewer. We'll look back and see if we can find out what happened to the 44. This is back about 4 laps ago. Drew is running in around the 6th, 7th position here. Got into the wall a little bit. Trying to chase down and got into the wall again. Back-to-back wall slaps. And I would assume this is where he brings it down pit road to exit this session. This truck was not handling anymore. He was not having a good time. You can see it kind of jerk back and forth on the wheel. Getting frustrated. And he brings it down pit road. Parks it for the night. There's another look at your leader by 3 full seconds, and Dakota Floyd has company. You're seeing him go around Cody Anderson, but it's Alex Forget in that blue and yellow 19 in 3rd spot. That's the one that Floyd might be worried about with 5 laps to go. Burns crossing that line. Floyd up high. Riding the scene. He's just got to hold on for 5 more. Forget catch up to him with 4 laps left. It's been a while since we've talked to the driver of the 19. 2 wins on the season here. Doesn't look like it's possible at all unless we get a late caution for the 19 to snag the win away from Jeremy Burns. He's on another planet, but he can absolutely go up here and take away 2nd position from Dakota Floyd. And Floyd just trying to hold on to that spot on those 2 tires. I'm still impressed with what the 57 has done. Gotta see another send here. He's getting a little bit closer. 2 to go. Down to about 3/10. And Alex Forget might have the inside advantage when the white flag comes out. Let's pay attention here to Jeremy Burns for one more time around at New Hampshire. White flag presented by Earhart Holmes. 1 to go. And Jeremy Burns has nobody behind him. Dakota Floyd definitely has somebody all over him, though. Burns is going to go into 3 and 4 and come out victorious for his 8th win of the season. Jeremy Burns, nobody around him. Here's a dive to the inside. Not going to be enough, though. Floyd's going to hold on to it, I think. And Jeremy Burns is going to get the victory in the 2nd race, eliminating down to 8 drivers for the playoffs. Jeremy Burns, victorious. It was 1/10 of a second there between Forget and Floyd. Trevor Keith gets 4th. Grant Thorpe, the top 5. And we'll go back a little bit here and look at this battle between Floyd and Forget. And here's the send into the corner for Alex Forget. It's just not enough there. And Floyd able to hold him off on just 2 tires. And burning it down on the front stretch. Jeremy Burns, no stranger to victory lane this season. We're going to pull that driver up here in just a moment. Jeremy Burns still celebrating, getting his phone ready to thank all of those people that support him here in the chat. And here he is. It's Jeremy Burns in the number 72 Ingenuity Silverado. Do you got a copy with us?
Yes, sir.
Victorious here tonight. You add your 8th win to the column, and it's right there at the tail of the elimination round. I know you didn't need this guarantee, but it makes you feel a little bit better when we start to reset again for that top 8.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the playoff points are amazing as well. You have 2 races, per round, so it just kind of gives you that buffer to go out there and, if you make a mistake or say somebody else makes a mistake and you get collected, it kind of gives you that safe haven. But definitely like New Hampshire. I don't really like how it drives, but I've definitely had a lot of success here, had it circled. I like the way that the trucks drove tonight. I felt like you could have multiple lanes and overall just put together a solid race, solid strategy there at the end, taking 4 and just overall keeping the tires underneath of me there for the duration of the run. I felt like earlier in the race, it wasn't as controlled by me. Just overall, like towards the end of the earlier runs, you saw Floyd getting a little bit closer to me. Trevor Keith even was gaining, and so was Michael Reed. Just overall, I felt like we adapted well over the time of the race, and I ended up victorious. And yeah, get the stage win and the actual overall win. So that's plus 4 points going to the next round. So definitely psyched for that. Psyched for everybody on the Ingenuity Power System Chevy Silverado, and we're ready to get after it next round.
Yeah, a little accident there. I accidentally put up Trevor Keith. You mentioned him catching up to you, though, and Dakota Floyd keeping the pressure on with taking that 2-tire call. It seemed to work in the first stage, but once you guys got that long, 50-lap run, it seemed like 2 tires wasn't the call.
Yeah, I don't really know. I felt like we had over 30 laps there on that run, and 2 tires held on for, about 10 laps. But when I came out there, I also pitted a lap later, so overall I was going to have an advantage even on the right sides. And it was really just about getting past Brewer and Richie, because I knew that they were going to be quick. Richie was about to pass me there before I came into pit road. So I knew that he was going to come out in front, but I knew that we were also going to have a much better tire advantage. So just in general, like I said, just keeping the tires underneath me, not, getting freaked out when seeing cars in front of me, and just running my race knowing that the tires would come in and, benefit me. And, you see it at the end there, we're able to pull out to a decent sized lead. So right call, just got to keep doing those throughout the playoffs, and hopefully we see, similar success in the future rounds. You can't really ask much more for this round, so just really excited for that.
Well, and here tonight on a limited car count, I know that for you in the Cup Series, it's a little bit more stressful, but you're starting to hit your stride in both these series. And I think some of the confidence, and maybe you'll agree, has carried over from the trucks to the Cup.
Yeah, just getting any sort of laps on the sim helps. And I feel like there are certain aspects to the trucks that actually help you drive the next gen. I know that sounds crazy because they're two completely different things, but the art of side drafting, I know you didn't really see that much tonight, but the art of setting up a pass and not overstepping the car. And I feel like in the trucks, you get a little bit more leniency with it. So when you come to Wednesday, you can kind of feel it trying to step out on you and you know to like lean back on it. So overall, I feel like anytime you can get laps on the sim, you get a little bit more confidence along with just more knowledge of how the car is going to react, especially with this new update. There's been a lot of stuff that's changed. So just try to get as much practice as I can in. And I mean, we're still racing for a championship in this league. So I just got to stay dialed in. We're going to bring it in, week out, and, look forward to next week and hopefully get it done.
Jeremy Burns, I know there's a list of people. It gets longer and longer every single week. And, I'll give you the next minute here to thank all of those people that made this possible.
Yes, sir. Just gotta shout out my mom and dad, Josie, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy, Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, Betty, Colleen, Tommy, Chrissy, Dana, and Dylan, Element X, and all those guys over there, especially Performance, helping me out a bunch. Metroplex for everything in the cup. Engineering Power Systems for everything in the trucks. Chapman Environmental, Buck Kicker, Coast Financial, Ultimate Exterior Lighting, Earhart Homes, All About Bugs. You up here at Vspeed, Bradley, y'all do a phenomenal job. And all the admins and drivers that, make this league possible. Hopefully we get a little bit better turnout next week, but, we're going to make the most of it and, capitalize on any points that people are willing to give up.
Jeremy Burns, appreciate your time. Go enjoy this one. It's 8 now on the season. Get a little rehydrated, and maybe we'll talk to you after the fact when we get done with this broadcast.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, buddy.
So there you have it. Jeremy Burns, victorious. He has put together a phenomenal season. I look forward to seeing what we have in store now that we've eliminated it down to just 8 drivers. We have more post-race coverage continuing for the Coastal Financial Truck Series. Those final race results in just a moment. Live here on Vspeed. Appreciate all of you coming out here and watching. We'll get the rest of your top 3 in just a moment, right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first
to Josh Adams. Welcome back to our live coverage from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We've concluded our final race of the round of 12, where Jeremy Burns has found his stage victory and victory lane. He led the vast majority of laps. We had a word with him down there celebrating tonight's race. 8th victory of the season for the driver of the 72 Ingenuity Power Systems Chevrolet Silverado. The rest of the results on your screen. Dakota Floyd's going to come home in second. Alex Forget Berube, who we haven't talked to in a minute. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment. Trevor Keith finishing in 4th position. It's Grant Thorpe for the top 5. Justin Ritchie will finish in 6th spot. Caleb Gilbert in 7th. Parker Johnson, Cody Anderson, and Michael Reed. Reed with his off the track, back on the track, top 10. Frustrating day there for the 91. Got into the wall. Rest of those race results, it's a very limited field here tonight, but we do have Philip Brewer, who finished 11th. Early exit for him today. Christopher Schaefer, who's going to finish in 12th. And then Grant Turner with the earliest exit. He had a power issue. He will finish in 13th. Tough break for him. I know this one probably hurts a little bit. And now, we get to talk to our second place finisher, Dakota Floyd. He had a phenomenal race. He tried some strategy. You can't knock a guy for trying. And if you're the driver of the number 57, you're probably wondering, hey, when is it my time to get up here in victory lane here in Racing Revolution Truck Series? I know that you called a little bit an audible here tonight. I can't blame you, Dakota. The truck was fast on 2 tires, especially in that first run, but you held your own. You still come up with a podium finish, and nothing to, hang your head about. It was definitely a racetrack that a lot of guys are probably ready for it to be over with from the start.
Yeah, I'm not a New Hampshire fan in the slightest, so to come home with P2 is definitely good enough for me. Victory would have been good, but I think I should have maybe overcut him and then go for the 2 tires, but I was just trying anything. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but the truck handled really well, a lot better than I thought it was going to in 2 tires, especially during that stage pit stop there. So I'm more than happy with the result.
Well, you held off Alex Forget, and Dakota, I don't know how tired you are of hearing my voice, but we've been talking to you a lot here. And, well, we go back to Saturday night. We go over to the championship you got there. You're getting podium finishes here in Racing Revolution. And, how many times are we going to have you up here in the booth?
As many times as it takes. I'll keep putting together the finishes as much as I can. And, hopefully rein in some championships in some of these other leagues, but I'm sure you're getting tired of talking to me too.
Well, I'm not tired of talking to you. What I'm tired of is not being out there on the racetrack with you. That's what stings the most. I remember a time where we were racing side by side, and when you know how somebody approaches these races, you can see and report on all of the strategies and the calls, but then ultimately it comes down to the driver. And what you did on 2 tires tonight, Dakota, phenomenal job. I don't think anybody else could have done it.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. And anytime I get the chance to take 2 tires, I definitely like to make the call because it really adjusts the handling of the truck. It's one of the few things you can do in a fixed setup to really change how the car itself is driving, or the truck, whatever you are. And I think it just adds an extra layer that I really enjoy.
And I'll double down on that. I guarantee you nobody else could do it, because Justin Ritchie, who took 2 tires, ended up finishing in 6th position. Your teammate there on that 2-tire call, you guys probably communicating with that. Richie ends up gaining some positions out of that. He gets 3 spots, but you ultimately come up on the podium, and I know you have some people to thank for this finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, you got to thank teammate in Richie, and I think we kept each other sane through this race. I knew New Hampshire, like I said, not a huge fan. If this place was turned into a swimming pool, I wouldn't be upset. But we definitely pushed each other and kept each other going through that race. And with the 2-tire call, I think it ended up working pretty well for the both of us. So, and thanks to everyone in the league. It was a pretty clean New Hampshire race, I have to say. Only a couple quick yellows there. No real big damage, I don't think, for anybody there. So overall, a pretty decent race for the league there. Thanks to you guys up at Vspeed for always putting on a good show. Always fun to go back and watch. And thank you to everyone that supports me.
Coda Floyd, third or second place finish. I didn't mean to put you back one. You almost got third there. Alex Forget was all over that back bumper there at the tail end. I know the pressure was on, but we appreciate you, Floyd, for coming up here and talking to us. And I'm sure we'll see you another time here in the Vspeed booth.
Yeah, absolutely, Bradley. Have a wonderful night.
I will have a wonderful night. The guy's very polite, always courteous to us here at Vspeed, and everybody that thanks us. It's phenomenal to see where we have been. If you want to go back and just look, and everybody here in the chat, I don't know if you're still with us here on Vspeed, but it's one of those sentimental things that we think about when you want to look at how much this thing has grown. Just go back 5 years and just see how many things have changed, and compared to what we have now, the collection of people, the leagues, people viewing, and the subscriber count. Again, it's really important to us, and we thank you every single time, but it really does mean a lot to us here to kind of justify what we're doing and justify these guys out on the racetrack. And the final guy we're going to bring up here into the booth is Alex Forget Berube in the number 19. Well, Alex, you had him right there. I know he was on 2 tires. It's probably a little frustrating here tonight. You had that advantage of the left sides, but we haven't talked to you in a while. I got to say, congratulations. Finally kind of breaking that ice back off. How did it feel out there tonight?
I don't know where you're finding the frustration. I'm really happy to finish where I finished because it did not start well at all. First of all, I lacked practice because I got here super late. I wasn't even sure because of the update on iRacing that I was gonna make it for the race. So I was really lacking practice. So I was trying to take it easy at the beginning and simply got turned by Schaffer. But
yeah,
from that point, I just refreshed my mind, took it easy, didn't take tires at the stage just to understand how it was going to be on the long run for the tires, and then I just flew through everyone after the stage.
Well, I guess the frustration part goes back to you had that turn there with Schaefer going into 1. That was down the front stretch. You had the iRacing update, which that frustrates me just thinking about it. And then on top of that, you get into the session late. So you have 0 practice. You have a really no idea because of the updates that iRacing has been rolling out. Alex, I know that when you got a guy in front of you that you have an advantage on tires, but this track is so flat, you can't find the inside line. You even took a dive there on the final lap. Maybe a little frustration, I guess, is what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, maybe give me maybe 2-3 laps and I would have caught him way better and maybe get to his inside and get a run out of it. But again, really glad that I still ended up on the podium at the end.
You did a fantastic job. You started back in 12th with a lack of practice. You led a lap. You did a fantastic job, and it's good to have you back up here in the booth with us. Alex Forget, go ahead and thank all the people that put this 19 Maxi machine out on the racetrack.
Well, obviously, like you said, I got to thank Maxi. But mostly important, it's you guys for broadcasting the race and all the races that we do. Coastal Financial and Nick, Chapman Environmental Services, SQDC, and my beautiful girlfriend too. She really was helpful today. It was really hot, and she was putting cool stuff on me to try to help me during the race. It was really, really nice.
You got the full simulator. You got the temperatures in the truck here tonight. got to feel how these drivers are in the real world. But it's whatever it takes to get that kind of immersion into the simulator. Alex, we appreciate you coming up here and talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Alex Forget Berube. And hey, Alex, before I let you go, just
yes,
so
sir.
You know, it's coming up here, second week of July, at Vspeed Invitational. You're in, buddy.
Cool.
All right, so you're good to go. I know we missed you there on the Race for 8, so we're going to take care of you. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Alex Forget, third place finish here tonight, started in 12th, and he's going to gain 9 spots, biggest mover of the race here at Loudon. Well, there you go. It's another one chalked up. New Hampshire is done, and we've eliminated it down to 8 drivers. Racing Revolution and the Coastal Financial Truck Series, happy to present your top 8. We will have the rest of those results and those final points when we go live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday night. You can catch us here live in just about 24 hours time. We'll have BTDY and Goat Locker. The 87th Throwback Series. Again, if you hit that subscribe button, you'll get notifications. It's a great way to go. For everybody here at Racing Revolution, Nick Alves, Rob Rader, everybody puts this together. It's Bradley Cooper saying so long from New Hampshire. KLD, Heavy Duty Truck Repair 120. Until next time, everybody, stay tracking.